Everyone knows the headline numbers. Anesthesiologist, $480,000 a year. CRNA, $235,000 a year. On the surface, it looks like a blowout. The MD makes more than double the salary of the nurse anesthetist. If you stop the math right there, medical school looks like the obvious choice for anyone who is smart enough to get in. But we are not going to stop the math there because salary is not wealth. Salary is what flows in. Wealth is what sticks. I have modeled the career trajectories of two hypothetical providers, strictly by the numbers. I have accounted for the student loan interest, the lost opportunity cost of residency, and a massive tax variable that most people completely ignore. But we will get to that specific tax number later in the video. Today, I am going to prove mathematically why the CRNA path often beats the medical doctor path in the only metric that actually matters, net worth at age 45. The time tax, the lost decade. The first variable in our equation is time. Time is the most expensive asset you have because you cannot buy more of it. Let's look at the time tax for becoming an anesthesiologist. After a 4-year bachelor's degree, you face 4 years of medical school. During these 4 years, your income is zero. In fact, it is negative because you are paying tuition. Then, you face 4 years of residency. During these 4 years, you are working 80 hours a week for roughly $65,000 a year. You do not become a real doctor with a real salary until roughly age 32. Now, look at the nurse anesthetist path. You finish your bachelor's, you work in the ICU for 2 years, earning a decent nurse's salary. Then you go to school for 3 years. You enter the workforce as a high income earner at age 26 or 27. That is a 5 to 6 year head start. And in the world of compound interest, 5 years is an eternity. But exactly how much is that head start worth in dollars? I'm going to show you that calculation in just a second. The opportunity cost data. Let's put a dollar figure on that time tax. This is called opportunity cost. While the anesthesiologist resident is grinding away for $65,000 a year, the new grad nurse anesthetist is working 40 hours a week, making $235,000. Let's do the math on the difference. 235 minus 65 equals a $170,000 annual gap. Multiply that by the 4 years of residency. That is $680,000 of lost income for the doctor. Before the MD has even cashed their first big paycheck, they are mathematically almost $700,000 behind the nurse anesthetist in career earnings. That is a massive hole to dig out of. But digging out is even harder when you have a mountain of debt on your back. And trust me, the debt numbers I'm about to show you are terrifying. The debt avalanche. Now, we have to talk about the debt that fueled that lost decade. The average medical school debt for a specialist in 2026 is projecting to be over $300,000. And that debt is not sleeping. It is growing. While the resident is making $65,000, that $300,000 loan is accumulating interest at 7 or 8%. By the time they become an attending physician at age 32, that loan balance has ballooned to nearly $400,000. Compare that to the nurse anesthetist. The average nurse anesthetist debt is roughly $100,000 to $150,000. But because they start earning that high salary 5 years sooner, they can aggressively pay that debt down. By the time the MD takes their first job, the nurse anesthetist is often debt-free. But here is the secret weapon. Getting out of debt early allows you to do something the doctor simply cannot do for another decade. I'll explain exactly what that financial superpower is next. The investment gap. This brings us to the kill shot in this argument, the investment gap. Let's assume both providers save 20% of their gross income. The nurse anesthetist starts investing $47,000 a year at age 27. By age 32, assuming a conservative 7% return, they have nearly $300,000 in their investment accounts. The doctor, they have zero. They are just starting. Because of the magic of compound interest, that early $300,000 works for the nurse anesthetist forever. Even if the doctor invests double the amount starting at age 32, it takes them nearly 15 years just to catch up. The doctor is sprinting to catch a train that left the station 5 years ago. I want to pause here because this specific financial modeling is what separates the wealthy providers from the high-income workers. If you want to master the business of your anesthesia career and not just the clinical side, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. The tax bracket reality. Now, the critics will say, but the doctor makes 500 grand. They will catch up eventually. Will they? Let's talk about the progressive tax code. The US tax system punishes extremely high earners. The nurse anesthetist making $235,000 is in the 24 or 32% marginal tax bracket. The anesthesiologist making $480,000 is deep into the 35 and 37% brackets. They are also getting hit with the additional Medicare tax and likely getting phased out of many deductions. Every extra dollar the doctor earns above the nurse anesthetist salary is taxed at the highest possible rate, so that double salary is not actually double take-home pay. The government becomes the doctor's biggest business partner. But there is one more variable we haven't touched yet, and it's the only one you feel every single day when you wake up. The hourly wage breakdown. We need to look at the work density. How hard are you working for that money? The average full-time anesthesiologist works roughly 55 to 60 hours a week. They often take home call, late nights, and weekends. The average full-time nurse anesthetist works 36 to 40 hours a week. If you break it down to an hourly wage, the gap narrows even further. The doctor might be making $200 an hour. The nurse anesthetist might be making $130 an hour. Yes, the doctor makes more per hour, but is that extra $70 an hour worth the 4 years of lost youth, the $400,000 in debt, and the 60-hour work weeks? For some, yes. For many, absolutely not. The lifestyle factor. This brings us to lifestyle. Because the nurse anesthetist path is shorter and less debt heavy, you have more life optionality. If a nurse anesthetist wants to work part-time or take 6 weeks of vacation, they can usually afford to do so because their debt service is manageable. If an anesthesiologist with a $400,000 student loan and a massive mortgage wants to work part-time, they often can't. They are golden handcuffed to the hospital. They must work high volumes to service their high debt and high taxes. The nurse anesthetist has the luxury of choosing lifestyle over maximum earnings. The doctor often does not have that choice until they are in their 50s. The conclusion, the winner. So, who wins? If your goal is to have the absolute highest prestige and the highest possible salary ceiling, regardless of the cost, the medical doctor path wins. If you want to be the captain of the ship and handle the absolute sickest cases solo, MD is the way. But if your goal is financial independence and life satisfaction, the math heavily favors the nurse anesthetist. You enter the workforce in your 20s. You carry half the debt. You start compounding your wealth a half decade earlier. Mathematically, the anesthesiologist does not actually surpass the nurse anesthetist in total net worth until roughly age 48 or 50. That is 20 years of grinding just to break even. Is the title doctor worth 20 years of your life? Only you can answer that. But making the money is only half the battle. Keeping it from the IRS is the other half. If you want to know exactly how to structure your income to pay $0 in state taxes and save thousands legally, click this video right here on the screen. I break down the exact 1099 blueprint that savvy nurse anesthetists are using right now. Click it now, and I'll see you there.